welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer. Happy Feisty Festivus Day something. Don't know. This video has taken me so long to put together. So at first it was going to be my top 10 fragrances for the fall and winter. And then I could not get it down to 10. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. So this is my top 20 for 2020. Fall and winter fragrances. Now, honestly, there are some that I feel that are missing from this list, but I had to stop, I had to cut it off. I had to cut it off. So this was really hard. This is super tough for me to do. It's so funny. It was so much harder for me to do this than even my brushes video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not doing it in any particular order. I will put the fragrance houses together. In other words, if there are several of one brand, I will do them all together. I talk about each fragrance, but I think for the most part, most of these come from different fragrance houses, but there is one that you will find that is predominant, a brand. So let's start with one of my oldest and favorites. This is Coco Chanel. Coco Chanel is, it's Coco Chanel. I've mentioned before that I have, scent memory that reminds me of being, in law school and not having any money and working for Chanel. And I would spray this on because I love this scent and I couldn't afford it. So it just has good memories for me. So this is the way it's described. It's an oriental floral, and the top notes are Bulgarian rose, coriander, peach, jasmine, and mandarin orange. The middle notes are rose, cloves, mimosa, orange blossom, and clover. And the base notes are opopanax, civet, amber, sandalwood, labdanum, vanilla, and tonka bean. I will say, the dry down on this is spicy and sweet. You do get some of that vanilla and tonka, which I love. Sandalwood, I also like. The idea of having cloves and orange blossom I love those types of scents in a candle or in fragrance, in a perfume. Interestingly, the top notes, the rose and the coriander, I think balances it out. So you get this spicy, sweet Coco Chanel. I mean, if you've ever smelled it, it's a staple, and there's a reason that it's been around so long. I know that there's new, Mademoiselle and everything else, but Coco always is the one that I come back to. Okay. So the next two, making sure that I am grouping these correctly. Yeah, those are all separate. Okay. The next two are from Serge Lutens. And the first is one that I never quite pronounce right. Rahat Lukum. This is one of their signature scents. I actually picked up this bottle. This used to not be available in the US, in this type of bottle. I picked this up in Paris, actually, many, many years ago. And this scent is interesting. So this was launched in 1998, and it was inspired by a Turkish delight. And so the notes in here are aldehydes, almond, cherry, hawthorn, Turkish rose, heliotrope, white honey, vanilla, tonka bean, balsam, and musk. And if you've ever had baklava, I know that's Greek, not Turkish, but it has that kind of smell. Honey, almond, then it has the cherry, the Turkish rose is in here. So I'm only using baklava because I think more people have heard of baklava. I could be wrong. But if you have, that's what it smells like. And that's kind of what it smells like on you, or at least on me. It smells like a Turkish baked good. Like it's stunning on the skin. It is sweet, but it's like a baked like sweetness. It's not like a candied sweetness. It's absolutely lovely. And every time I wear this scent, people ask me, they're like, what is that? So I don't know too many people who have heard of it or wear it, but I absolutely love it. And in the fall and the winter, it's just perfect. The next is Chergy or Chergy, also by Serge Lutens. And as you can tell, I really like this fragrance and I need to buy more. I believe it also comes in this type of bottle as well. So this is a really unique, I'm going to say that a lot. It's really unique fragrance. It was launched in 2001. It's considered a unisex perfume. And the top notes are hay sugar, iris, and rose. The heart notes are honey, musk, incense, tobacco, and amber. And the base note is sandalwood. And what you really get from this is this amber, honey, sandalwood, tobacco. It's really different. But it's one of the most unique fragrances I have. And I honestly would wear it every day if I could. Like I would. It would be if I could only have like one fragrance throughout the fall and winter, I'd probably pick that one. There's something so unique about that particular scent. It is heavy. It is musky and ambery, and it has that tobacco, and it has this sugary, like dry down, but it's beautiful. And it almost smells like, it's almost like a leathery, even though there's not leather in there. It's just, it's very rich and very niche and very unusual and very, like you're sitting in a den full of leather comfy chairs, a fireplace, and some scotch. That's what it's like. It's a beautiful scent. I really, really love it. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Okay, the next is by Frederic Malle, and they all kind of look like this round, very simple packaging. They're made in France. This is the 1.7 ounce size. And this is Musk Ravageur. And again, this is a unisex fragrance. You'll notice that most of the fragrances I like will either be considered unisex, or if they are, quote, for women, they're not traditional, how's that, scent for women. The top notes in this are really interesting. They are lavender and bergamot like tea. The heart notes and like an Earl Grey tea. Heart notes are clove and cinnamon, and the base notes are gaiac wood, which I don't know what that is, cedar, sandalwood, vanilla, tonka, and musk. So you're gonna notice a lot of the scents that I really like have sandalwood and vanilla and tonka, some type of musk, and then like a cinnamon or a clove or a leather or tobacco, that type of warm scent to them. And the lavender and bergamot at the top are just really nice. It takes the edge off the more smokiness of the scent. It is definitely musky. And if you do not like having a more, quote, masculine scent, you will not like that, because it is a very musky scent, but I love it. And in fact, when I was in law school, there was a scent called Joop, Joop, and they wanted a version for women and a version for men. It was the version for men that I wore, and I loved that fragrance. I don't think they make it anymore. But I've always liked a more, quote, masculine fragrance. I love the fact that more scents are now considered unisex. I think that's awesome. And I do like sort of the musky, gourmand, musky kind of scents. And the Musk Ravageur is the most musky of all the ones that we're going to talk about today. Okay, the next is Musty Cartier. Now I have this in a very old bottle. So this is the insert here, and this is the shell that goes over it. This type of bottle doesn't exist anymore. And this is the Musty Cartier perfume. Now I mentioned this in a video, I don't remember how long ago, that they actually reformulated it. It had something to do with the ingredients that they originally had out they couldn't use anymore or something. Laws had passed that couldn't use those types of ingredients in the perfume. It was launched in 1981, and it has a very, again, musky, but musky, sweet, gourmand kind of scent. So here's all there's a lot of notes in here. The top notes are bergamot, tangerine, lemon, peach, mandarin, rosewood, galbanum, and neroli. That's just the top notes. The heart notes are jasmine, leather, carnation, ylang ylang, orris, orchid, rose, narcissus, and lily. There's a lot of floral scents in the middle there, and I am not a floral scent person, but when they mix it with the leather and the lemon and the bergamot, it works. And then the base notes are musk, amber, vanilla, sandalwood, vetiver, tonka, civet, benzoin, apopanax, and oak moss. A lot of scents in this, a lot of notes in this fragrance. And I wish I could like just send it through the computer, because you smell like the top notes, the peach and the bergamot and that mandarin, that fruit. And then you pick up a little bit of the floral, and like the ylang ylang is there, sort of like smooth it out. And then when it dries down, the oak moss and the vanilla and the amber and the musk, it does have a definite muskiness. Now this is a fragrance that was launched for women. But guys, I gotta tell you, there's something about the scent. Now it does bring me back to law school. There was a woman, an older woman that I was in law school with. She was like 20 years older than me. She was just a very together, cosmopolitan person. Or I thought so at the time. I mean, like I was 22, so you know. And she wore that fragrance, and I just was like, this, you know, that's like an adult, cosmopolitan, elegant fragrance. It's just, it has a complexity to it, you can tell by all the notes, that is really unique and different, and I love it. It has changed. That's actually an older one. I keep that under lock and key in a very dark cedar chest, so no moisture gets in, no light gets in. But I will say, you know, eventually it will go bad, so I have to, you know, keep using it. But I'm careful with it because the new it's been reformulated twice actually. It doesn't smell quite the same, but it's still beautiful fragrance. So it's definitely something that holds a special place in my heart, and I love the scent. But you can tell, you know, as I'm mentioning these, there are common threads. The vanilla, the amber, the musk, the tonka, some type of fruit or gourmand usually are involved in how I describe them. Okay, so the next is a really interesting fragrance. It has an interesting story behind it. It's the Creed Sublime Vanille. And this is very much a vanilla fragrance. I love vanilla fragrances. I have several. I will talk about a couple today, actually. And you can wear the vanilla fragrances in the spring, the summer, the winter, at all times during the year. There are some that I really wanted to include in this collection, and I didn't, because although I love them, I do think they're more vanillas for the summer or for the spring. So the ones that I picked, the vanillas I picked, are actually more gourmand or heavier vanillas, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So this Sublime Vanilla, this bottle is a relatively new bottle. And what I mean by that is the size. I think this is 1.7 ounces or something like 2.5 fluid ounces. Many, many years ago when this first came out, this was launched in 2009. I had smelled it at Bergdorf's, I think, in New York, and I wanted it very badly. It's a beautiful scent. It's my favorite vanilla. But in the United States, it only came in this huge and it was this type of bottle. I have the bottle over there. It's like a cut glass, a Waterford bottle with a stopper, and it's stunning. And it's 8.4 fluid ounces, and it's like, at the time, it was like $1,000. And I was like, yeah, I can't spend that. But in the UK, because Creed, is made there, they had a 1.7 ounce spray bottle, and it was like a silver bottle. And my husband was doing a lot of traveling. He was in the UK for business, and I said, would you mind, since you're gonna be downtown and everything, could you go by Harrods and pick up the 1.0, so 1 fluid ounce spray? And he's like, yeah, that's no problem. It was like $150 or something. I don't remember, but much, much cheaper. And so he went, I put it on a piece of paper, because you gotta remember, this was a long time ago. This was 10 years ago. It was before everything was texted to everybody. And so I put on a piece of paper 1.0 fluid ounces and sent him along with a little note, which he put in his wallet. He got to Harrods and insisted that there was a 10 ounce bottle that he had to buy for his wife. And the woman at Harrods is like, I'm sorry, sir, we only have the 8.4 ounce, cut Waterford glass thing for $1,000, which he proceeded to buy for me, because, and was really worried that I was going to be upset that I didn't get my 10 ounce bottle, which I was like, oh my God, no. And it's just been a funny story for us for the last 10 years. I still have that Waterford bottle. It's a stunningly beautiful perfume bottle, but it took me almost 9 years to use it all, because it's 8.4 fluid ounces. It's a huge amount of perfume, and I wear other types of perfume, obviously. So finally last year I had to buy a new bottle, and by then they had released this size in the US. But I absolutely love that fragrance. And of course, every time I wear it and someone asks me, I tell them the funny story. The thing that makes it different is the top notes are Tahitian vanilla and a South American bourbon vanilla. The middle notes, the heart notes, are tonka bean, and the base notes are bergamot, again, Calabrian lemon, and musk. So that's why this vanilla is not like your typical vanilla. Most of the time you think of vanilla, you think of, vanilla, like what you cook with. And I love that scent too. I love a really good, just genuine vanilla. But this is a musky, bourbony vanilla. But it's also light. It's beautiful. I have never had anyone smell this and be like, I don't like it. There have been people who are like, yeah, it's not really my thing, but I've never had anyone smell it and be like, I don't like it. It's stunningly beautiful fragrance. If you know somebody who likes vanilla, or you know somebody who likes more like the kind of scents that I've mentioned here today, this is a wonderful gift. This bottle is still very expensive, don't get me wrong, but if you have a vanilla lover, they're gonna absolutely, this is to die for. This is one of the best vanilla fragrances that I've ever had, ever smelled anywhere. And I would be happy to back that up. It's that good. It's phenomenal. Okay. The next is a Clive Christian fragrance. Clive Christian is, again, these are all luxury scents, so they're all expensive. I'm not gonna lie and say, oh no, they're not reasonable. This is not a reasonably priced perfume. But this is X for women. I know. You're like, X, what? But they have, Clive Christian has fragrances like Z and Y and X. There's an X for men and there's an X for women. I was introduced to this fragrance at Bergdorf's in New York, in the fragrance pits of, I call it Barney's and Bergdorf's. Like when you'd go into those at the holidays, it was insanity. There was a million people. The associates are, if not aggressive, certainly assertive. And you're getting sprayed left and right and people are like grabbing at you. But this one, I was like, okay, I will step aside and actually try it. The top notes, again, bergamot. Bergamot is like in practically everything I like. Ivy, mandarin, peach, and rhubarb. I don't know, rhubarb. Iris, jasmine, lily of the valley, rose, narcissus, and tuberose are in the middle in the heart notes. And then the base notes, you've got patchouli, vanilla, sandalwood, cashmere, which I'm not really sure what that is, and rum. this smells like alcohol, like a really good mixed drink, like a boozy, bourbony, rummy drink. And I think it's the mix of the florals, like the peaches, the roses, tuberose, and then the rum and vanilla that do that. It kind of gives you the feeling that you're drinking something in a ski chalet. It smells really good, guys. It's definitely more feminine than like the musky scents, because it's not a musky scent, but it definitely has. So it's got a little bit more floral to it. There's a lot of florals in it, but it doesn't really lie heavily on the florals. It lies heavily on the vanilla, the sandalwood, and the rum, and it's a really unusual fragrance. Really worth trying out. Okay, the next is another vanilla. I really had a difficult time, like I said, breaking down the vanillas, but this is a really good vanilla and really unusual. And you can see I've used a lot of it. This is a Van Cleef & Arpels. It's Orchidee Vanilla number, and it's like 10199BA. I think it's just Orchidee Vanilla. But anyway, and it's just a very simple, Van Cleef makes a very simple bottle with the black cap. It's this, with the spray. All of these have sprays except for the Rahat Lakoum, which is, like I said, just a stopper bottle. But I do believe that comes in a spray too, I think. Although maybe not, I'm not sure about that one. So I've used a lot, and it's a really interesting vanilla, because when you first spray it, vanilla is not what comes to mind. It starts with mandarin, lychee, bitter almonds, chocolate, Bulgarian rose, violet, vanilla absolute, cedar, tonka bean, and musk. So again, the vanillas that I'm pulling out for the winter and fall are musky vanillas. And this one with the lychee is like, if you ever had like lychee martinis, they're very sweet. They have this beautiful sweetness to them, but mixed with the chocolate and the mandarin and the rose and then cedar with the musky vanilla, you can like hear how that sounds. So it's got this warmth to it. And you get more of like a sweet, musky vanilla, and there's tonka bean in there, but with a little bit of like cedar to it. It is an amazing fragrance. I actually get a lot of compliments on it. When I travel, I tend to wear that one or the Sublime Vanille, because although they're complicated vanillas and they have more like a musky, interesting scent, they never overpower anyone. And I love fragrances, but I don't necessarily want to overpower other people with my fragrance. So that one's an excellent one if you want something a little different that smells warm and spicy to you and has that great vanilla, but doesn't bother anybody else. It's just a really beautiful fragrance. Okay, guys, we're not even halfway there. All right, let's keep going. Okay, the next I do not have the big bottle of. I actually used up the big bottle, and then I have what I use are the travel size, because I used to carry this with me everywhere I went. So this is the Maison Kurkdjian Rouge 540. So I bought, there's a set, and I'll link it below, where you get 4 of these, and then the travel flacon that you can carry with you. And so because I was traveling all the time, I tended to buy these sizes, the travel sizes, in addition to the perfumes themselves. In fact, one of the perfumes that I left out for today, the Kilian Love Don't Be Shy, I have it in the big size, and then I have it in the travel spray, which is this gorgeous white, intricate travel bottle. And I left it out because I do think it's more of a summer spring than a fall winter. It's still one of my favorite perfumes of all time. But I have the travel size as well as the full size. So again, for the Rouge 540, right now I have it in the travel sizes. I do not have it in the full size bottle, but I will put a picture up of what it looks like. And it is a really unique fragrance. I've been saying that a lot, I know. But when you wear this fragrance, people will ask you what it is. The top notes are jasmine, saffron, orange, and marigold. The heart notes are things I don't know what they are. They are ambroxan and evernyl. And the base notes are cedarwood, ambergris, and fir balsam. It is very different from the other fragrances that I own. And I can't tell you what it smells like because it doesn't smell like anything else I have. It's not vanilla, it's not spice, it's this warm, gourmand, like orange cedarwood with something else in it. And it smells amazing on. This is the one that I think most people would feel like. I think that's the one that would get the most reaction. It's just really just super unique. I wouldn't call it a gourmand. I wouldn't call it spicy. I wouldn't call it an oud. I wouldn't call it an oriental. I wouldn't call it a floral. It's this just incredibly unique fragrance. It was launched in 2014 for Baccarat, and then it was relaunched in 2016 as part of the Maison Francis Kurkdjian line. So again, it was originally created for the Baccarat crystal. So you can tell it's a very rich, very niche fragrance, and was meant to epitomize luxury, and it does. The price point also does epitomize luxury. It's not inexpensive. Even the travel sizes are on the pricier side. But I promise you that you're not going to smell anything like it. There's not going to be. I have a huge collection, and I have nothing that even touches it. Nothing close. So it is really unique. It is really beautiful, and yeah, I don't have anything else. I don't have anything else to add. It's just a beautiful fragrance. So the next one's a really interesting fragrance. I keep saying that, but it really is. So again, I have it in the travel size because again, guys, I was traveling all the time. So it made more sense to have these bottles so that I could take them with me so I could have perfume. This is the Maison Kurkdjian, it's the Francis Kurkdjian Oud Satin Mood. So it's not just the oud, it's the oud satin mood in the perfume extract. So it's the really intense perfume version. And it has Bulgarian rose, Turkish rose, vanilla, oud, benzoin, and violet in it. It was launched in 2015. So it's considered an oriental woody fragrance for men and women. The thing about this fragrance is it's definitely an oud. It definitely has that, if you know what oud is, it has this like earthy, mossy oud scent. But the violet in here is how it dries down. It kind of reminds me of like a 1920s perfume. It has this violet dry down that a lot of perfumes used to have because violet was very popular. And so violet is in like the Guerlain, the Meteorites has that violet scent. That's what this is, the dry down. It has that kind of scent, but it's mixed with an oud and like a woodiness. And then the rose and vanilla as part of it. It is gorgeous. It is more of a throwback fragrance though. It does have this like older sensibility to it. It's not like a hip, clean, fresh fragrance at all. It does have like a almost powdery scent and feel to it. Okay, we're getting there, guys. We're halfway through. The next one is a Kilian scent. I actually have a lot of Kilian fragrances. It was really, really, really hard to narrow it down to one. I have intoxicated and girls and boys, and I have a ton of them. The Love Don't Be Shy is my favorite perfume of all time, but I do think it's a lighter fragrance. It has like some marshmallow in it. I do think of it as more summer or spring. I wear it in the winter, but if I have to narrow it down to 20, there was others that I felt were more fall winter. This is Back to Black Aphrodisiac. So in the Kilian fragrances, that you have the name on the top and then you have a name underneath. So Love, it's Don't Be Shy. This is Back to Black Aphrodisiac. One of my favorites is Dangerous Liaisons. That's another one. I was really close to putting it in here, but then others would have to be shifted out, and I was like, nope, I gotta put this in. So this one is unisex, and the top notes are bergamot, again, cardamom, coriander seed, raspberry, blue chamomile. The heart notes are honey, olibanum, Atlas cedarwood, vetiver, patchouli, and moss. And the base notes are tobacco, amber, cistus, labdamen, almond, and vanilla. I think you guys can sense a trend here, right? This smells like a sweet tobacco almond, which I know sounds stupid, but it smells like a gourmand scent, almost like a raspberry almond kind of fragrance. But then there's this mossy patchouli kind of thing, and a honey and a tobacco vanilla dry down. It is really, really good. Really, really good. And if you like tobacco, if you like any tobacco scents, if you like something that has an amber or vanilla, you will love this fragrance. You will love Back to Black. It was one of the first ones I picked up from Kilian. I picked up Dangerous Liaisons and Back to Black. Those two are my two favorites. And I almost put, like I said, Dangerous Liaisons in this group. But Back to Black, I have to say, it's better than Dangerous Liaisons. So Back to Black is here. Dangerous Liaisons is not, because there's others that I had to include. So you guys, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful fragrance. It's 2009 that it was launched. And it has a lot of the same, base notes. Now that we're getting more into the middle of this, you can tell, the ones that I like. All right, let's get into the next one. Okay, guys, the next one is in this weird travel bottle because the bottle broke. It's a long story about why it broke. I have two Guerlain fragrances, one from Paris, which is the Coquin de Gourmand something, I can't remember the name of it. That's really, really a gourmand fragrance. It's basically rum, tea, and chocolate. And it's delicious, and I love it. But I do wear it more in the summer and spring months because it's actually a light fragrance. It doesn't really stay on you. This one is the Spirituise Double Vanille. And this one is a strong vanilla. Really, it's not at all sweet and candy-like and childlike at all. This vanilla is really a strong vanilla. So let's see if we can figure out the notes in here. Okay, so the Spirituise Double Vanille is feminine, supposedly for women. It is more of a feminine fragrance, I guess, how they describe it. It was launched in 2007. And the notes in here are pink pepper, bergamot, notice a lot of bergamot, frankincense. The heart notes are Bulgarian rose, jasmine, and ylang ylang. And the base notes are vanilla, benzoin, and rum. Again, it's a boozy kind of fragrance. It has a very strong vanilla rum scent. And it's, like I said, it's deep. It's not a candied vanilla at all. It's not a sweet vanilla. It's a bergamot frankincense of vanilla. So it has a very spicy, warm vanilla that lasts, and it's strong. And it's one of my favorites, but it's not for everybody because it can be a little overpowering. And if you wear it out in public, it's gonna trail after you. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but just, you know, be aware if you're in a small crowded space, might not be the best fragrance to wear. Just saying. Okay, the next one is very new to me, and I have Kelly from Keep Beauty Real to thank for this. This is the Replica Maison Margiela. I'm not even sure if I got that right. By the Fireplace. So I bought it in the Sephora sale. There was like a 3. There was the By the Fireplace, Jazz Club, and another one I don't really remember right now. But By the Fireplace is the one that I absolutely love. The fragrance notes in here are woods, chestnut, vanilla, neroli essence, red berries, and orange blossom. And guys, if you're looking for a relatively inexpensive, perfect winter fragrance, this is it. It smells exactly what it sounds like. By the Fireplace. Chestnuts roasting, orange blossom scent, some vanilla, and like a woody kind of feel. It's perfect. If there was a picture of people gathering a Christmas tree out in the woods and going back to sit in their fireplace and roast marshmallows, this is the fragrance. I don't know how they did it, but it is. Sitting by the fireplace in the middle of winter, drinking hot cocoa. And it's not that expensive. You can get like small sample sizes of it as well. This is like a bigger quote size. And they have the large sizes too. I think this will be a great size for me because I can use it for travel, but I love it so much that I might go out and buy a bigger size when it's on sale. It's like the perfect winter fragrance, and it's really inexpensive compared to all of these, and it's lovely. It's so lovely. Okay guys, we're getting down there. All right, this is the Initio Rehab perfume. And this is a relatively new addition to my collection. I love the Initio perfumes. I like Side Effect. I like, what is it called? Baraka? I can't remember the actual name, but it's something like Baraka. This is a sophisticated lavender with a spiced tobacco. It's amazing. It dries down with like a vanilla and a patchouli in it. Oh, it's so good. So the notes in here are bergamot, again, lavender, tobacco, cedar, patchouli, gaiac, sandalwood, vanilla, and musks. It's really like kind of addictive. It smells, the sophisticated lavender is a really interesting scent, because I do have a couple of lavender scents that I wear in the summer, but this one is a tobacco-y lavender. And I know this is gonna sound funny, but it's like it's a sexy scent. When you wear this, it's definitely like sexy. It's just gorgeous. And you can't kind of stop smelling it. All the Initio fragrances are kind of like that. They're a little bit addictive. I really, really love them. If you can get a sample of it, you should definitely try it, because the Rehab is really, really good. Okay, next. Okay, so the next is House of Sillage, and this is one of their prestige, I guess, bottles. And this fragrance is Holiday. And it's exactly like it sounds. It's been made for the holiday. It was launched in 2012. The top notes in this fragrance are blood orange, mandarin orange, and peach. And the middle notes are rose and Egyptian jasmine, and the base notes are cedar and vetiver. It smells like cooking orange and peach on a stovetop and then mixing it with cedar and vetiver. It's Christmassy. Yeah, it's Christmassy. I don't know what else to say, guys. It's this beautiful scent. that reminds me of the holidays. And if you've ever done like, you know, you put orange peels and I forget, like cinnamon in like a stove pot, and that's kind of what it smells like. It's beautiful. It's very simple. There's not a lot to it. But it's just really nice. It's just really pretty. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's not my typical fragrance, but the orange and the cedar and vetiver together, it's really nice. It's really beautiful. So the last 4 are Tom Ford fragrances, and then the last one is a fragrance that I literally don't have in my hands yet. I've been using samples of it over the last couple of months because I ordered it, then it was canceled, then I ordered it again. I still don't have it. It's been selling out everywhere, and that's because it's an incredibly awesome fragrance that everybody wants because it's really, really good. Okay, so Tom Ford Lost Cherry. You knew this was gonna be on here, guys. I love this fragrance. Not everybody loves this fragrance. When this came out, there was a lot of people who were like, what in the world is this and what is Tom Ford doing? So Lost Cherry was launched in 2018, so it's really new. I hear it's already being discontinued. I can't get necessarily confirmation on that, but I have now 2 backups to it. So if they do discontinue it, I'm relatively covered. I also have a candle. The top notes are sour cherry, bitter almond, and liqueur. Middle notes are sour cherry, plum, Turkish rose, and jasmine sambac. And the base notes are tonka bean, Peru balsam, vanilla, benzoin, cinnamon, sandalwood, cedar, cloves, vetiver, and patchouli. So although it does have this sour cherry, almond, and liqueur kind of top note, the bottom notes, the lasting notes of patchouli, vetiver, cloves, sandalwood, cedar, vanilla, those are all the things I love. Those are all the core notes that I love, which is why this fragrance really does appeal to me. Yes, it does have that sour cherry, and yes, we absolutely have that cherry note. It's Lost Cherry. But there's an underlying creaminess, sweetness, cederness to it, sandalwood to it, cloves to it, that I absolutely love. And I think that runs through, all the fragrances, or almost all the fragrances that I mentioned. Bitter peach. Again, I know some of you hate bitter peach. I have heard people say, oh my God, this is the worst fragrance ever. I love it. It stays on forever, just like the Lost Cherry. It's almost impossible to get rid of the scent once you put it on. So if you don't like it, it's gonna be difficult to get rid of. It's considered an Oriental vanilla. It was just launched. And the top notes are peach, blood orange, cardamom, and heliotrope. Middle notes are rum, cognac, Divana, and jasmine. The base notes are patchouli, leaf, sandalwood, vanilla, cashmere, tonka bean, styrax, labdanum, benzoin, and vetiver. Again, guys, you sense the continuing thread here. The tonka bean, the vanilla, the sandalwood, the labdanum, actually. Having the cognac and rum, like the liqueur types of scents in all of these fragrances, draw them down. And on me, those scents, I think, smell good and appeal to me. So that is why I think practically all of these have those in them. The one that doesn't is the 540, the Rouge 540. That one, I don't know how to tell you about that one. That one, I don't know what's in that. Like, I mean, I told you what's in it, but like, I don't know why, but that just, it's an amazing fragrance. And everyone I know loves it, and I love it, and it's addictive, and there's magic in it. Next is Tobacco Vanille. Tobacco Vanille, oldie but a goodie, launched in 2007. I have shared this with friends of mine who are now addicted to it as well. It's considered an oriental spicy fragrance for women. And the top notes are tobacco leaf and spicy notes. Middle notes are vanilla, cacao, tonka bean, tobacco blossom, and base notes are dried fruits and woody notes. So I don't have as many details on that one, but it is a tobacco vanilla, guys. It has vanilla and tobacco. I don't know what to tell you. If you ever had, like my grandpa smoked pipes and he would have those, and cigars, and he would have those cigar boxes that he got actually from a place he wasn't supposed to be getting cigars from. And he would give me the cigar boxes when he was done with the cigars to keep whatever I wanted in them. And they smelled like this, but with some vanilla. So it drives me back to when I was a little kid and I had those cigar boxes. I should have kept those cigar boxes. Probably worth some money. But anyway, that's exactly what this smells like. It smells like his old cigar boxes with vanilla in it. If you like tobacco scents, this is the pinnacle. It's amazing. Love, love, love it. All right, the last Tom Ford is also a vanilla. Sorry guys, but I love vanilla. This is Vanille Fatale. And this one was launched in 2017. It's not that old. I tend to like mix my fragrances, so I'll use Vanille Fatale and Tobacco Vanille. It makes actually a really interesting scent. But this one's a little bit different. The Tobacco Vanille is very, very clear. It's tobacco, and then it has vanilla in it, and it dries down to a vanilla, but you still smell that tobacco. This, the top notes are myrrh, rum, olibanum, coriander, saffron, orange, and lime. Middle notes are barley, coffee, frangipani, plum, narcissus, rose, artemisia. Base notes are Madagascar vanilla, suede, tobacco, mahogany, patchouli, oak moss, and violet. This is a complicated scent. But it's really, really nice. Really, really nice. It's a beautiful scent. It is complicated. It is a spicy vanilla. It definitely has that gourmand, but it does have the tobacco in it. It has more of a gourmand vanilla, but it's a heavy vanilla. It is not a light one. It is not put a vanilla spritz on in the spring and summer. This is these are all winter, fall scents. Last one. And guys, trust me, there were more. I have more fragrances that I would love to include in this list, but I had to get it down to 20. So last one, I have the tiniest little sample of it, and I'm still waiting for my bottle to arrive. It's got to get here eventually. I literally ordered it 6 weeks ago for the first one, and then it was canceled, and now I'm waiting on the second one. Don't even get me started. This is by Kilian. You know how I love Kilian scents. And this is Angel's Share. I'll put the bottle above. It's a gorgeous scent. Now, Kilian, if you're not aware, the parent company, the guy who owns it is a Hennessy liqueurs, alcohol. So again, what's running through a lot of these perfumes is I do like that kind of rum, cognac, bourbon scent. And Angel's Share is in a bottle. You can see the bottle. It looks like a decanter, right? It was launched this year, and the top notes are cognac. The middle notes are cinnamon, tonka bean, and oak. And the base notes are praline, vanilla, and sandalwood. So it really smells like a sweet cognac. And it's gorgeous. I love it. I've used up like 3 of these little sample bottles, and I'm so annoyed that I still don't have it. I can't even tell you. And I wasn't gonna include it because I don't have the bottle, and I was like, no, it's not fair, you haven't, but I have been wearing it like non-stop since I've been able to sample it, and I absolutely love it. Like I said, I have now ordered it twice and still don't have it, but I can tell you it absolutely will be one of my favorites of all time. It's a stunning, beautiful scent. It is a sweet cognac, gorgeous, has that, you know, again, sitting by the fireplace, ski chalet, leather sofas, and, you know, decanters of Waterford crystal kind of feel. It's absolutely beautiful. That's it, guys. That is the top 20 fall and winter scents. There are more that I like. There are some more niche fragrances. If you guys are interested in the other ones, I can certainly, you know, go ahead and ask. I will let you know what they are. There are so many more that I love, but this took me months to get it down to this top 20, like literally months. It's crazy. This was the hardest video I've done. Hands down. Just, I can't even tell you. So, I'm glad it's finished. Hopefully it actually recorded. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.